So this is what we want to thank all our partners across the 57 diocese of Nigeria to tell them that we are actually appreciative of your partnership with us in our humanitarian activities, and want to sincerely thank you for your partnership. And also to all our staff working in the field, we also want to sincerely thank you for your sacrifices that you make on a daily basis to be able to reach out to the people that are going through one form of difficulty or the other. As we appreciate you, we know that God that blesses all efforts, all human efforts, will also bless you for all the sacrifices and the efforts you are making to ensure that you put a smile in the lives or smile on the face of people that are suffering. So I just want to thank everyone that joined this webinar from across Nigeria and across the world from our partners. We hope that the next 120 minutes will be a fruitful deliberation, and that whatever we discuss here will add to the quality of the programs we design and implement Caritas Nigeria. Welcome to the webinar, and good morning, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you again, Chief of Party, Dr. John Oko. Would like to indicate very clearly here that we are going to work strictly to time and to ensure that we cover what is really designed for us today to achieve this noble objective of the Humanitarian Day of Celebration. For our discussants, we would like you to put your notes together and note that you are going to be speaking for just 2 minutes and a max of 3 minutes. And then for our field staff, you will also be doing a very brief presentation as a focal person in the different units that you coordinate. That is also going to be done briefly for 2 minutes with a max of 3 minutes. If you exceed this, we will be stopping you. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome. I welcome the Director for Humanitarian Services, Nkese Maria, to please set the pace rolling by letting us know the objective and the place of Caritas Nigeria in humanitarian interventions.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Just as Dr. John has spoken on behalf of Reverend Father Techuku Godechina, welcoming everybody. Today is the 2020 World Humanitarian Day, where we celebrate humanitarians all over the world. Humanitarians, those that make sacrifices, even to the point of sacrificing their lives for the service of humanity, to help those that are undergoing humanitarian crisis. Today, we want to especially recognize Caritas Nigeria humanitarians who are out there in the Northeast, in the South, in the Southwest, all over Nigeria, making those sacrifices, their time, being away from their families, going into remote areas. We want to celebrate them, we want to thank them, and we want to recognize them. We also want to create awareness on some of the interventions, humanitarian interventions being rendered by Caritas Nigeria. As such, we'll also show towards the end a short documentary on just a few of our interventions with comments from the beneficiaries. We also will talk about how we are intervening, even despite the COVID-19 pandemic, how our staff and our partners, especially the JDPCs, are going out into the field and still intervening despite the pandemic, because without that, many lives would be lost. Many people that are undergoing severe crisis would be plunged into a more dire situation. So today basically is to recognize our humanitarians, Caritas Nigeria, JDPCs, and all our partners and donors who intervene. You can intervene by giving and you can intervene by going. So today is basically to celebrate humanitarians in Caritas Nigeria. Nigeria, our partners, our implementing partners, and our donors, and all our associates. So thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you, Maria. Shortly after this setting the tone agenda or item, the welcome address has actually been very concisely presented by Dr. John, so we are moving on to the next item. And remember, we've made an adjustment there that the success stories, videos of the success stories will be coming after the panelists. And so at this juncture now, we are going to be having a brief overview of each of the projects. And this is going to be a presentation by the focal persons of the different projects at the project locations. Why that is Friday is one of them. So while we are waiting for the focal persons to come in and do their presentation, which is going to take just 2 minutes, max 3 for each of the focal person. We would like to also still reiterate by saying that today is the World Humanitarian Day. It is a day that is set aside to honor and pay tribute to development actors, humanitarian actors that are in the field. Humanitarian workers are actually referred to as corporate solicitors and corporate beggars who go in to solicit for funds and support globally and within the country to be able to support those that are in their need. I can see Samuel there is ready, and Samuel is one of those that are in the field. I see him very willing and handy to do his presentation. Thank you, Samuel. You can take the lead as one of the focal person. You have 2 minutes to do your presentation. Thank you, Samuel. Unmute yourself, share your screen, and do your presentation. Can I have the list?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Happy World Humanitarian Day celebration. I would love to share my screen, but the host has disabled participants sharing their screen. I have a little presentation to make on the FAO project. So I would request that the host enables me to share my screen from here.
Someone go ahead.
Go on, Samuel. Speak on, Samuel. We are hearing you.
Yes, I'm on. I'm sharing my screen.
Just speak on, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Just a moment.
If you are having challenges with sharing your screen, you can speak.
Okay.
Remember, you have 2 minutes.
All right, thank you. Now I manage the FAO project, and the FAO project is a subcontracted, it's a partnership with FAO, and it's basically the distribution of agric inputs to vulnerable households in the northeast, specifically in Adamawa and Borno states. But however, Caritas is focusing in Adamawa in the 2020 rainy season project, which is already ongoing. You know, contracts have been signed, and a couple of activities have been carried out already. We've been able to do community sensitization, and then carried out CBPAP, which is community-based participatory planning and assessment. And overall, we've targeted beneficiaries, a total of 4,900 beneficiaries in Askira Uba and Chibok. And though the inputs are supposed to be gotten from FAO in bulk, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, I think they were dispatched. First, we got the cereals and the sorghum, and then later on, we got the groundnut. And we've distributed the inputs we got already to vulnerable beneficiaries in the target locations. And then as I speak, we are also expecting to get fertilizer, which is also part of the input to be distributed to the farmers. However, we have some challenges in the field. And before I mention those challenges, I also want to intimate us that there are a couple of activities that we also need to still carry out within this period. The project is a 4-month project, which started in July and will be culminating in October. So, and also, it also involved establishing what we call farmers' field schools. So we have established already 4 farmers' field schools in the various locations, in Askira Oba 2 and in Chibok 2. And these schools, I'm glad to announce to us that they are running with utmost participation and serious commitment by the participants. So, and one of the activities, the outcomes of also of the project is training our beneficiaries. It's not just giving them input and then allowing them to their customary way of farming, but we also take pains to train the beneficiaries on best agronomic practices and also on climate change agriculture, climate-focused agriculture, and also on improved nutritious feeding, so that the aim of the project, the impact, could be felt very much. And so also, to enable us to reach out to this group of beneficiaries in their numbers, we had to conduct a TOT, training of trainers. This, by the grace of God, was done yesterday. And then as we speak, the field officers, they were supposed to engage in stepping down the training to beneficiaries in their various communities. But because of this function today, we have asked them, today is our day as humanitarian actors to celebrate. So they will definitely begin the presentation, the step down training by tomorrow. And so that is part of the planned activities. And then since we are expecting fertilizers to arrive, which is one of the most important inputs for the farmers, albeit it is late, but however, once we get the fertilizers we're going to distribute, we hope to get them by Thursday or Friday, and then so we engage distribution on Saturday. So I think those are what we have as the planned activities for this period. Now we have a couple of challenges, one of which is the recent attacks in Chibok, and it's making some of the activities to be planned for Chibok to be halted. I know a couple of weeks ago, the banditries, the insurgents attacked Kuburumbola and the Kautikari and killed a couple of
well, could you just summarize your challenges? Your challenges.
So attacks are making implementation in Chibok difficult, and also the farmer field school, the running of the farmer field school requires some form of remuneration.
Am I on? Okay. Friday, Al Hassan.
Because these people, if you don't give them some. So, and then very importantly, and finally.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Samuel. Just summarize.
Yes, finally, I was saying that the delay in admin and procurement processes affected the project's implementation in the line of visibility, because we carried out some of the basic activities without.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you. We appreciate. Remember again all those focal persons in the field that they are speaking for 2 to 3 minutes max. We would like to request that Friday Al Hassan, Thomas Haliro, Michael Ibe, Michael Ade, Onome, and Chinwe get ready. Get ready with your presentation. May I request that Friday Al Hassan take the floor and do his presentation. Take the position and do your presentation. Immediately after Friday, Thomas, Michael, Ibe, Michael, Ade, and Onome should get ready. Friday, are you ready? Okay. If Thomas, Michael, Ade, Michael, Ibe, and Onome, if any of you is ready, take the presentation. Are you set? Okay. Friday is ready.
Okay.
2 minutes, max 3.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'd like to use this opportunity to celebrate all humanitarians globally, most especially our staff who are working in deep fields in the Northeast. My name is Friday Al-Hassan. I work as Senior Program Manager on the nutrition project in the Northeast. Okay, the nutrition project is being implemented in 2 LGAs. That is Shani local government area and Brielle. And the one is about supporting scaling up inpatient services for severe acute malnourished children in those 2 locations. Okay. Now the project duration is for 1 year and it started last year. To date, we have admitted 517 children under 59 months who are severely malnourished, and to date too, we have cured 417 who have recovered them and transferred them to the OPP. 417 of them out of those children. Okay, yes, that is our achievement. We have reached out to those children and we're able to supporting capacity building of HME staff in the management of severe acute malnourished children in the facility. And for this, the HME of Borno State government is supporting us with their manpower, with their facility, and then with the kind of support we receive from them. Our staff who are providing these services are working under a very, very harmonious environment to ensure that they provide or they deliver the necessary services to children that are malnourished. We have had few challenges. The challenges has to do with mostly unlimited number of staff, especially from the HME in some of those facilities, and then some critical equipment that can provide resuscitation for children who are malnourished. So we are hoping and looking up to the state government to support us in these facilities to be able to achieve this noble cause of providing support for children that are malnourished.
Thank you, Friday. We are still listening to the field staff who are Caritas focal persons in the field. We had indicated clearly that we each will be speaking for 2 to 3 minutes max, and in no particular order. If Thomas Haliru, Michael Ibe, Michael Ade, and Onome, any of you that is ready can take the presentation. Can we have the screen there, please? Give us the screen. While we are waiting for the presentations, I'd like to put our panelists on notice that they should get ready for their discussions that will also be taking 2 to 3 minutes for each panelist. We have Sandra Zin, we have Gerard Gideon, who is of JDPC Yola. We have Damijida Dominic. He is going to speak as the 3rd discussant. We have Eric Teva, we have Kanayo, we have James Yarrow, we have Thomas Patrick. James Yarrow and Thomas Patrick are of JDPC Meduguri respectively. We have also Tabitha Bako and Malami, who Tabitha is of Caritas Nigeria, and Milani is also a staff of JDPC of the Catholic Diocese of Meduguri. While we wait for the screen to come up, Again, I like to thank Samuel and Friday for the very brief but comprehensive presentation on what their different units is doing in the field in the area of humanitarian interventions. To present shortly after this could either be Thomas, Michael Ibe, or Michael Adia. If you are ready, just indicate by lifting up your hand, and we will know you are ready to take the lead. Onome, are you ready? Just lift up your hand if you are ready. Is Thomas ready? An indication by lifting up your hand will let us know you are ready.
Yeah, Thomas is ready.
Thomas, go ahead with your presentation. Where is Thomas? Thomas, will you be kind enough to unmute yourself? We are waiting. Okay, great. Are you there? Again, if Michael Adie, Michael Ibe, Onome, or Thomas is ready, hit the ground rolling. Michael Ibe, if you can unmute yourself, you can go ahead to do your presentation.
Okay, hello everyone.
Yes,
good afternoon. Yeah, sorry, let me stand in for Thomas while he's trying to get his presentation ready. So I'm guessing everybody is able to hear me.
Yes, Michael, speak on.
Fantastic. So again, I'd like to plead to crave your indulgence. I'm not able to share my screen because of some technical hitch.
It's fine, we can hear you speak.
Okay, fantastic. So during the Berlin conference of 2017, the German government led a fundraising campaign which sought to gathering raising up to $2.52 billion. And the reason for this fundraising activity was for, to combat or to help ameliorate the situation of the very poor persons affected by the Boko Haram insurgency in the Lake Chad Basin. So it was with these funds that Caritas Germany, one of our major partners, partnered with CRS and Caritas Nigeria and submitted an application, went into a strategic partnership, which is now what we know as German MFA. Now, but the title of the project is Relief Aid for Victims of the Boko Haram Crisis in the Northern regions of Nigeria, Cameroon, and the west of Chad. It is a 3-year project starting from 2018 and will end this year, 2020. Now, the key objective of this project actually is to make sure that the food consumption score of up to 2,950 beneficiaries is improved. So now it meant that we were going to have assessments done to measure the food consumption score. So for most of us who are not into food security, food consumption score simply means the rate at which you eat food. So not many persons are able to feed or to have nutritious meals or even to afford it due to the insurgency. So this is what the project is able to track. Now there are 3 levels: those who are food poor, those who are the borderline, and then those who are acceptable. So the project focuses on those who are poor, and through cash disbursements of up to 122 euros per tranche in 3 separate tranches amounting to 366 euros per beneficiary, we hope that the food consumption score of persons who are really malnourished or cannot buy food for themselves is greatly improved. So now this is 2020, and we've been able to meet up to 5,150 households So we've actually exceeded our initial target of 4,150 through quality intervention. And there are still other key activities that we have engaged in, such as best agronomic practices, that is BAP, and then income generating activities. So these key activities have also helped to build the capacity of our beneficiaries so that they can, it serves as more like our sustainability plan, so that even after the closure of the project, these persons are able to improve their farming practices and their farming techniques, and also they're able to raise their own personal income after the closure of the project. There are many achievements, of course. Apart from the fact that we've exceeded our targets, we've been able to use the e-wallets. Our e-wallets, we pioneered the use of our e-wallets to distribute funds. So we don't deal on cash. It is just, the distribution of funds to the beneficiaries. So the staff is not able to touch cash at all. So the beneficiaries are able to use their own cards. Accounts are opened for them, and then they access their money by themselves. So what we provide is accompaniment, constant sensitization on fund usage, and then on intra-household dynamics. So we target the most vulnerable, especially the women, the widows, the children, especially unaccompanied children, those who are malnourished and all of that. The project has been a very wonderful project, learning process for us. We can keep sharing success stories, but we will see them shortly, so I don't need to go into that. During the presentation, we're going to see some of the challenges we've experienced. But for now, this is about the German MFA project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate that eloquent presentation. We'll still thank and pay tributes to Samuel, Friday, and now Michael Ibe. May I request that Thomas, Michael Ade, and Onome, if any of you is ready, could you just indicate by lifting up your hand, let us know you are ready. Yes, Onome, if you are ready, please unmute yourself and do your presentation. Onome?
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, I'll be presenting on behalf of the Anti-Human Trafficking and Migration Unit domiciled in Benin City, Edo State. Basically, the Anti-Human Trafficking Desk is in Benin City, implementing two projects, the Smart P project funded by the Italian Bishops' Conference. It started in October 2018 and is going to end in October 2020, although we have a 3-month extension to December 2020. The location of this project is in the Edo, Delta, and Cross River states. We are in 10 local government areas in these states. And the components of the project basically is in fourfold: awareness raising in schools and communities, educational support for in-school, temporary shelter for returning migrants, and vocational skills for out-of-school youths based on skills of their choices. And also we have the STEM project, which basically is to assist returning migrants with economic and social integration into their host communities, thereby contributing to the overall goal of preventing irregular migration from Nigeria, which is our mandate. The funders are GIZ, and the duration is 18 months. This project is solely implemented in Edo State, Nigeria. Now for the Smart P, we have community sensitization on the use of trafficking in persons in 10 local governments. Our target was to reach 10,000 persons, but to date, we have been able to reach 14,833 persons. For the school sensitization, we targeted 5,000 pupils, but we have been able to visit 233 schools, and 36,106 students have been visited and sensitized on the use of trafficking. And also among these students, we have been able to form them into anti-human trafficking clubs so that they can become ambassadors and influence their peers also on the use of irregular migration. We've also been able to give grants to vulnerable households for income generation activities, and 500 households were targeted. And among these 500 households, we're able to give them cash transfers of 50,000 Naira each to start or improve on an existing business. And also for sustainability, we also enrolled them into SILK, which is Savings and Internal Lending Communities, to help them continue with these businesses even when this project ends. And for educational support, we were able to support 350 pupils with tuition fees, uniforms, sandals, school bags, and books. And over 30 students also for tertiary scholarship also got scholarship funds of 200,000 naira each. For the vocational skills training, we were able to enroll 150 students, 150 out of school youths who were not ready to go back to school, but they wanted to learn skills of their choices. And currently, some of them have finished from learning these skills, and some are also still learning these skills. And these are some of the pictures of our Smart P projects. Then for the STEM project, basically we have two objectives, which is social reintegration, which composes of shelter services to 200 returning migrants and psychosocial support services to 300 returning migrants. We also provide 1-year health insurance scheme for returning migrants on a need basis. And under the status column, we have those we have reached so far. We have reached 80 persons in both shelters, the male and the female shelters. We work with the Conference of Women Religious Shelter, Kosudo Shelter in Benin, while we also have Caritas Nigeria shelter for the male returning migrants. And also we have been able to reach 169 persons with trauma counseling support services. And also for the health insurance, we've also reached 169 persons. For the economic reintegration package, we've provided vocational and entrepreneurial trainings in various skills of their choices. These basically are 400 persons, and we have reached 100 potential migrants and 169 returning migrants. And also we've supported them with startup tools. These are some of the pictures showing the tools that we are giving. We don't give money. What we gave was startup tools for them to start businesses of their choice and generate income for themselves. And these are also some of our beneficiaries who are actually doing what we're trained to do. And
thank you, Mama. Will you like to summarize your presentation?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. With this fifth presentation by another focal person, we are left with just two to go, and that is from Michael Adie and Chinwe Eziebikwa. So if Michael Adie is ready, Chinwe and Michael. Okay. Chinwe, Michael, and Thomas. If you are ready, you can take the floor and do your presentation.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Donald.
Yeah, my name is Donald. I'll be standing in for Michael Adie. Michael Adie, unfortunately, is on transit to Goza with Thomas, Joseph Thomas.
With Joseph Thomas, Joseph, and Thomas Haliru?
Sorry, I said Thomas. We usually call him Kute, and then Michael Adie are on transit to Goza.
Great.
So I'll be standing in for Michael Adie to give to present on the new Norwegian project. So
thank you.
All right. So the Norwegian project is a 4-year project for 2020 to 2023, and so far the name of the project is titled Integrated Emergency Early Recovery for Communities Affected by Insurgency in Adamawa and Borno State, Nigeria. At the end of the project, it is expected that we'll be hitting a total of 6,000 households, which will include 30,000 individuals over the span of the project. So our project locations are basically in 6 local governments of Borno and Adamawa State: Hawu, Shani, Askira, Uba, Goza in Borno, Michika, and Madagali in Adamawa State. And so far, these are the list of communities we've selected and will be intervening. We'll be intervening mostly in 7 communities of Borno State and 4 communities in Adamawa State. And so far, is multi-sectoral, cutting across food security, nutrition, wash, protection, and then the household economic strengthening. And The project should have commenced long before now, but due to the COVID, we started preparation in May, and so far we've achieved a lot. We started with an inception meeting in Yola, whereby all staff, recruitment of new staff to hold man other thematic areas. 8 new staff were hired by the organization, and then the inception meeting was actually to keep everyone abreast of the goals and objectives, and to introduce new staff into the project, and of course our field of intervention. So far, community sensitization have been conducted, and currently beneficiary registration across all the thematic areas is currently ongoing, and selection of beneficiaries will be done upon completion of this. We've also had training of PSCA done during the inception meeting, which was anchored by one of us, Sandra Z, and then everybody is now aware of all the power dynamics in the community and within an organization. As I said, for the issues of nutrition, we were able to incorporate all nutrition questions into our Kobo tool for registration, so that we'll be able to identify mom and son beneficiaries, also to get beneficiaries for cash for food who will be registered and for under the cash for food intervention. Hello? Oh God.
Don't speak on, but you know you have 2 minutes. You've taken your 2 minutes. If you could summarize, we will appreciate. Thank you.
I'm just concerned about my network. If you guys have listened, I've heard what I've said, I think I've rounded up everything. So in summary, all our data collectors, field mobilizers, and as well have been engaged, and we are good to go. Thank you.
We appreciate. That is Donald, who has just presented on behalf of Michael Adi. If Thomas Haliru and Chinwe are ready, just indicate, unmute yourself and do your presentation. Okay, Thomas Haliru, if you are ready, you have 2 minutes to take the floor.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Thomas Haliru, the program manager for the UNHCR-funded livelihood project in the Northeast, and I will be giving a bit of an overview of the project so far. The UNHCR livelihood project, with the project title Protection and Assistance to People of Concern Through Livelihood Support, is the project funded by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, that is UNHCR. The overall project goal is to improve protection and assistance to persons of concern in target locations across Adamawa and Borno states through livelihood support. So Caritas Nigeria targeted 4,900 vulnerable IDPs, returnees, and host community members across Adamawa and Borno in 7 local governments. That is Michika, Madagali, Yola North, Yola South, Mubi North, Mubi South of Adamawa State, and Goza local government of Borno State. They were all targeted for improved access to self-employment, food security and livelihood through agricultural inputs distribution, and startup grants through electronic wallets, and startup kits for vocational training. This project is a 1-year project, and it has since started in January 2020 to end in December 2020. So far, Caritas Nigeria has been able to record some key milestones. So 700 persons of concern were targeted for agricultural inputs, and they were trained, and agricultural inputs were distributed to them. Also, 500 persons of concern were also trained on income generating activities and financial literacy, and a startup grant of 30,000 naira was given to them to start up or improve their existing business. 500 persons of concern also were targeted, and they were trained on livestock management and they were giving livestock to improve their livelihood assets. Also, with regards to the SIL groups, 40 SIL groups have so far been formed across the 7 local governments in the Northeast. Also, 2,952 persons of concern are presently undergoing skills acquisition training. Although the trainings are done in batches, and they are being trained in tailoring, carpentry, soap making, beads and bags, and shoemaking. And the trainings are ongoing now. So far, we have been able to conclude the first batch of trainings, of which hopefully this month they will be given certificates. They will be graduated, given certificates, and startup kits will be given to them to be self-reliant and provide for their family. So we were able to record some challenges, but one of the key challenges that we are actually facing on the field right now, it's persons of concern in some locations have been suspended from going to the farms due to high level of pocket attacks being experienced, especially in Goza and Madagali. And this has made things difficult for some of our beneficiaries. They have the zeal to farm, but they can't really go to farm because of pocket attacks. These are one of the key challenges we are actually facing. So basically, this is what we are up to on the UNHCR Livelihood Project. Thank you very much.
Staff in the field. Chinwe will be doing the next presentation. Chinwe, if you are ready, please unmute yourself and do your presentation.
Sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chinwe, and I'll be presenting 2 projects, both protection assistance to Cameroonian refugees and IDPs in Adamawa and Yobe states. Just a minute while I share my screen. 1 second, please. Okay. Sorry, can you see my screen? Okay, consider now then. Okay, Caritas Nigeria has been partnering with UNHCR for protection for Cameroonian refugees since September 2018 and up until 2020. And as of 1st August, we got another project with them for also protection and return monitoring assistance to, but this time around to IDPs in Adamawa and Yobe states. And for the Cameroonian refugees, I'll go with that one first, the protection and education assistance. Our mandate is SGBV child protection, access to education, everything essentially on the screen. As I am time strapped, I don't have to read out everything. And so far, this is what we have done. No beneficiaries reached on protection monitoring, child protection, BIA is conducted, civil status registration, which in this case is birth certificates and death certificates, SGBV interventions, legal representation, including psychosocial support given to survivors. This part also includes access to justice for the number of cases, rape cases, defilement cases that Caritas Nigeria has ensured has gone to court, and the number that has also been persecuted and persecution still ongoing. For education, we cover secondary school and primary as well. Border monitoring visits, detention monitoring, this essentially is when we go to detention centers for both police stations, National Immigration Service, Customs, any detention center whatsoever, to find out if any refugees are being held, and if it's unjust, ensure their release. If it is just, ensure that the law takes its course as I went due. And PWSN assistance, that's essentially assistance to persons with specific needs. And this can include old people, disabled persons, persons living with albinism, separated and unaccompanied children as well. And some of the assistance we give them beyond everything else, apart from ensuring that they are priority when it comes to distribution, is also ensuring that they get material assistance. Community stakeholders, this also includes the number of committees that we have formed amongst the refugees themselves for the sake of sustainability and ownership. This includes child protection committees, LGBT committees, education committees. We've also trained the leaders of the refugee settlements as well, and that of the host communities, and government officials, of course. So we are for Cross River, we are in 8 LGAs, 39 host communities. A host community essentially are communities that are housing refugees, and from numbers 50 and upwards is when we start to recognize a community as being a host community for refugees.
Would you like to wrap up your report, Chinwe? Thank you. Just a summary. Okay. Thank you.
All right then. And the second one is a protection and multi-sectoral assistance to returnees and internally displaced persons in Adamawa and Yobe. The difference between this, even if it's protection, the difference between this and the Cameroonian refugees essentially is that for the IDPs is restricted to protection monitoring, return monitoring for returnees from other countries, and monitor the borders as well. And essentially our mandate here is to ensure that the refugees, wherever they are, find out what their issues and facilitate referral, referral pathways and interventions to other organizations and UNHCR that provide the services that they need. Our challenges so far, lack of government commitment in undertaking protection services within the settlements, host communities and in the urban areas, and hostility from the host communities and demands for equal services presented, given to the refugees. So how we have tried to surmount that is at least for employment or for when we have contracts and all of that, to make sure that the host communities get some share in it, also through sensitizations. So I think this is all for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chinwe. Thanks. That's great. We'd like to thank all our development humanitarian aid actors that have done their presentation. I think we're doing well, brilliantly with time. We will move on straight to the next item, and that is the panelist discussion. This discussion is actually going to center on COVID-19, insecurity, and protection. Let's keep it strictly to this guide, and we are having about 8 panelists here. Each will be doing a presentation with just 2 minutes. If you are ready, those to present include Sandra Zing, Jarat, Damijida, Eric, Kanayo, James, Thomas Patrick, Tabitha Bako. Tabitha is of Caritas Nigerian, Thomas Patrick, JDPC Medugri, and Milani is also of JDPC of the Catholic Diocese of Medugri. I am made to understand Sandra is in transit, but in no particular order will we emphasize this presentation because of network connectivity. So we will request that if Gerard is ready of JDPC Yola, please take the stage and make your presentation. Also, Eric is there, Damijide, Kanayo, James. Could you again just indicate by lifting up your hand for us to know you are ready, and then you unmute yourself and take the floor. Thank you. Gerard, Simon, unmute yourself and take the floor and do a 2 minutes discussion.
Good morning to you all and happy Humanitarian Day. On behalf of my coordinator, Reverend Father Maurice Karanga, who is not on seat at the moment, he said I should tell all here happy Humanitarian Day. In respect to COVID-19, as it pertains to the implementation of our project here, it has been challenging due to the fact that there is low acceptance of the pandemic among local publics. Most of the persons in local communities tend to be aware but felt that it is a form of a lie. So most of our activity has also been to create that awareness and also inform them on the danger of the pandemic. While implementing our project, we also try to see that we give them all the necessary materials they need to prevent themselves from contacting the disease and also to contain the spread of the disease. While implementing our project, we made provision for hand sanitizers, nose masks, and hand washing points so that before they start training, they are able to. But by and large, awareness have also reached communities, but we have this attitude and mentality of people not really coming into reality with the pandemic. But I believe with more sensitization reaching to the grassroots, a lot of them will come into the light of knowing the danger of such a pandemic. I think that has been the major challenge we have while implementing our project. Thank you.
Again here with emphasis that the panelist discussion should be centered on COVID-19 insecurity and protection. Keep it to this so that it is more impactful, it is meaningful, and our goals will then be achieved. If Dominic is ready, Eric, Kanayo, James, Thomas, Patrick, Tabitha, and Melanie, we are waiting. Who is that? Kanayo, are you there? Can we see your hand? Cecilia said you are ready.
Check the chat.
Yes, okay. We can see you indicating at the chat column that you are ready. We are waiting.
Yeah.
Yes, just unmute yourself and take the floor. Remember, your time is 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and happy World Humanitarian Day. I just want to ask, can you all hear me? Okay, thank you very much. For starters, in Cross River alone, in the 3 settlements, there are 24,144 refugees within the settlements. Now, with the coming of, even before the coming of COVID-19, there was not enough resources to go around. With the coming of COVID-19, however, just within the settlements alone, it has posed the issue of increasingly reduced resources, and interventions have become challenging because the resources are not enough to go around. Now, some of the challenges which have been brought about by COVID-19 and a number of other issues include the fact that the face-to-face interaction, which we normally have with our refugees, has been greatly reduced, especially at the protection desk. Now, what has this caused? It has led to a situation where we have to manage most cases remotely, and because interaction is reduced, there is a lot of gap which was not there when the interaction was present. Also, we have seen that with the coming of COVID-19, this reduced interaction has affected things like cash-based intervention, registration, and even visits to host communities. Another issue which COVID-19 challenge with COVID-19 has brought about is the social distancing. With the social distancing, we have had to regulate some of our activities. Some activities have been put on hold, while others are held with respect to precautions for safety and social distancing. Another thing which COVID-19 has caused is that The need for humanitarian aid has been exacerbated, but resources have reduced because economics are being affected and financials for interventions are affected as well. So even going into 2021, we are seeing situations where there will be reduced resources and we now have to prioritize. So these are some of the challenges which COVID-19 has brought about as far as the intervention is concerned. We have also had issues with tracking infected people. We have had issues with insecurity. Even though Cross River is not such a hotspot, insecurity is an issue because humanitarian workers everywhere are targeted. Now, what are some of the mitigating circumstances? We have had to hold some activities with respect to social distancing. And as a result of limited resources, as protection partners, we ensure that we prioritize people with specific needs. These people can be SGBV survivors, they can be unaccompanied and separated children, they can be women at risk, they can be girls at risk, they can be men at risk, they can be anyone who's within the index with which we measure PWSNs. So when we have interventions, we consider these people, and this is how we prioritize to make sure that we take care of the vulnerable, of the most vulnerable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is Kanayo, isn't it? Kanayo, thanks for this presentation. We'd like to move on to the next discussant, and that is Eric. Okay. But I can see Damiji there too. Yes. Damiji, if you are ready, you can present, and then we move on to Eric.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, go on. And then Eric, get ready.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Dominic Damijida. Monitoring and Evaluation Unit.
Could you go close to your microphone?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. My name is Dominic Damijida, Monitoring and Evaluation Unit, Northeast Nigeria, Adamawa State and Borno to be specific. As you all know, the Northeast has been ravaged by Boko Haram for quite a while now. And with the advent of COVID-19, things have become very, very difficult for our beneficiaries in general. Our beneficiaries, especially the working class beneficiaries, those for the IGA and petty traders, they have found it very, very difficult to go for their normal businesses due to the lockdown caused by the COVID-19. This has made them find difficulty in feeding their immediate family and including themselves. On implementation basis, the beneficiaries are finding it difficult to coming to terms with the new reality of life, that is social distancing. When it comes to telling them to be some feet away from each other during implementation, they find it very difficult. Thanks to Caritas Nigeria for sending us protective kits and hand sanitizers and washing station, we've been able to sensitize some of these beneficiaries, actually ration the number of persons that will come out during a distribution or an activity so that we can mitigate or limit the number of people in a particular event, at a particular event or venue, so that close contacts will be limited. As a result of that, we've been able to meet up to delays caused by the pandemic. You're all aware of the lockdown, and delays were caused during such lockdowns. We were not able to implement some of these activities. But because of some of these strategies we put in place in order to regulate the number of people that come out in a day, we were able to achieve our deliverables and meet up to timeline of donors. So with these, I think Caritas, our staff here, or us in the field in the Northeast, have been able to.
Damiji, that's a good presentation. We appreciate. Eric, can you take the floor? Unmute yourself. Thank you, Damiji. Great presentation.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Eric.
I'm Eric Nyikwa. I work with the Humanitarian Department of Caritas for Food Security and Livelihoods Units. Part of our challenges in the last few months has been this COVID-19 pandemic, and how we have been able to mitigate the risk is because currently we are doing ski acquisition for the UNHCR project, which I'm currently working on. And we have hand washing tools for the center so that each of the beneficiaries at these centers wash their hands, and we have provided sanitizers for them. Also, we don't crowd the training centers. We have spaced the centers so that each participant is paired together with his colleagues. So we have like tranches of 10 participants per training session. So we space them so that they don't crowd themselves and get exposed to the risks of COVID-19. Another challenge we are facing this year is renewed attacks of Boko Haram and some armed groups in some of our project locations, especially in Michigan and Madagali. So we are always in touch with the military. We are registered with the military security team as a humanitarian actor. So for each project activity that we are having, especially around Michigan, Mubi axis, we get security clearance before going for each activity. And that has been very helpful. We also liaise with the vigilante and the civilian GTF because they also give us on-site situation in the communities about the security so that we don't risk ourselves just going to community without getting security clearance and getting security feedback. So these are been our challenges and how we are able to mitigate it, particularly this year. So we are determined to do our best, and we ask the grace of God to guide us in our humanitarian work. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Yes, we are still waiting for James Yaro, JDPC Medugri, Thomas Patrick, JDPC Medugri, Tabitha, Caritas Nigerian, Milani, JDPC Medugri. If any of you is ready, please unmute yourself and take the floor. James, we can see you are ready. Yes, take the floor. 2 minutes.
Hello, morning once again. Hello.
Morning,
Can you hear me?
James.
Sorry.
Yes, James, speak on.
I'm James Yaro, JDPC staff, Medugri, a livelihood program officer here in Goza. The major challenge so far due to the issue of COVID-19 here in Goza is one, the
Speak to the microphone.
As security personnel have greatly restricted movement due to the issue of
Hello, James, you are breaking.
And again, beneficiaries have started developing resistance to the precaution measures towards curtailing the spread of COVID-19. But we are really trying our best to sensitize them on the importance of abiding by all the precaution measures towards curtailing COVID-19 pandemic. Example, by telling them the significance of observing social distance proper hand washing, particularly by all our hand washing tools being installed in our training centers that we are currently in here in Goza, in skill acquisition, which we have divided them into badges in order to respect social distance. And on issue of security, so far the major challenges is fear that is being imposed by
Thank you.
The humanitarian rescue.
Thank you, James. The network is poor. Welcome, Sandra. We've been waiting for you to balance the sensitivity of gender here. Cecilia has been very concerned about that. So if you are there, kindly unmute yourself and take the floor for 2 minutes. Sandra Z, isn't it? Yes, she's just arrived from the United States and has notified us. She came with which airline? Mark?
Hello, Sandra.
Yes, Sandra. Are you ready? Can you see her?
I can't see her. Maybe she's with somebody. She's using someone's line.
Okay. Sandra, just indicate if you are there.
Okay, see over there. See over there. Has Tabitha presented?
No. Okay, while we are waiting for Sandra to hook on, Tabitha, you can also continue in the promotion of the gender sensitivity as it concerns this intervention as a humanitarian actor in the field. Yes, Tabitha Bako, kindly unmute yourself and take the floor. Sandra, you can be putting yourself together so that immediately after Tabitha, you can do your presentation or discussion.
Eric says Sandra is using her phone to talk, so you can unmute Eric.
Okay, okay. Where's Eric? Eric, you can help unmute. Yes. Yes. Good.
Good morning, all.
Yes, Sandra.
My name is Sandra Z. I'm working with the nutrition unit at the Caritas Nigeria Humanitarian Department. Majorly, some of the challenges we faced with our nutrition interventions are more with, as a result of the migrations that have resulted because of the insurgency, people moving from one location to the other. There is now resulting to scarcity of food, especially for women, breastfeeding and lactating women, and also for young children under 5. That has resulted to an increased rate of malnutrition around the communities we're intervening. And currently, regarding our recovery rates and existence of malnutrition, we're faced with the challenge of social and behavioral change patterns, which were on top notch, trying to ensure that these women adopt the healthy practices that will ensure their children's feeding. And on the COVID-19 pandemic, it has actually affected our programming in the sense that we have to be at top gear because our children are immunocompromised. So if we have an existing case, which we've not had, and we're grateful for that, we have to ensure that children are treated as soon as possible and then discharged. And also, there is an influx of admissions, and we have to either space children with the minimum of 1 meter. And that has actually posed a little challenge at our side, but we have been able to take care of all those. Regarding bed spaces too, we are short of bed spaces, but we're still currently working with the state governments to ensure that these items are being made available. With these are the major challenges we're having have been going well. We'd like to thank UNICEF and all other funders for contributing towards these projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra, for your participation and for this brilliant discussion. You made your point. Thank you, participants, for encouraging all our discussants. We are left with Tabitha, Thomas Patrick, and Melanie. Tabitha, are you ready?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Take the floor. 2 minutes.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Tabitha.
My name is Tabitha, the program associate on UNHCR projects in the Northeast, Adamawa precisely. The issue of COVID-19, as my colleagues have said.
There's some interlocution with your microphones. Interlocuting. Okay.
COVID-19 has really affected our activities here in the Northeast, where the population do not believe of the existence of the COVID-19. For instance, in most of our communities, crowd control has become a major issue.
Tabitha, it appears there are some challenges with your network. Thomas, if you are ready, we can return back to Tabitha. Thomas Patrick.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Not giving us enough time. And on the issue of insular
I am
areas.
Patrick Thomas.
Okay, sorry. Tabitha, could you just please pause for a while? So we'll return back to you. Let's take Thomas.
Okay.
Please. Thank you. Thomas, go ahead. Thomas, unmute yourself and go ahead.
We have to go off because you are echoing to them. We hear your voice and hear your voice again from our
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Thomas.
No, I'm muted.
Thomas Patrick, I'm working on the German MFA project. The corona pandemic has actually halted our activity when the state lockdown started. We're registering our beneficiaries when the state lockdown was announced. So this halted our beneficiary targeting and caused delay in our implementation. But after the partial lift off of the lockdown, we continued with the targeting. The corona pandemic has also delayed some of our activities. We had to group our beneficiaries into 15 to 20 members in order to avoid overcrowding. And during the card distribution, a distribution that is supposed to take a maximum of 3 days had to take about 2 weeks for us to cover all the beneficiaries. And we've also ensured that these beneficiaries come in batches. And we want to sincerely thank the management of JDPC for providing the safety kits, the face masks, hand sanitizers that we've been able to give our field staff, the field officers, and the community mobilizers. We are also happy with the bank management, UBA, who made it mandatory for every person coming to the bank has to come with their face masks. So the beneficiaries are also cooperative. They have complied with this, and almost all of them with their face masks, and they were able to collect their cards and access their funds. Now, on the issue of insecurity, actually it's not been easy with us mentally because of the we hear close by, most especially in Magumeri, which is close to Maiduguri here, we've been hearing of attacks. So this has really given us mental stress as well as staff working on the field. Working in camp situation also expose staff to contracting this virus. But thank God for these protective kits and hand sanitizer that we've been using. And JDPC has also made sure that all staff were sensitized on this corona pandemic before the resumption of work. And the time of work has also been limited, number of staff in the office has also been limited. So this has been a very good achievement on the part of JDPC as management. On the issue of child protection, protection issues are more on camps than in host community. We've worked last year in Michika, Madagali, and Biu. We've not heard of any protection issues, but currently an issue came up in a camp, Sulumbri, Dogonyaro, is within MMC. There's a household that is complaining of somebody that is trying to molest a child within that household, and simply because these persons are vulnerable and he's maybe giving them, she cannot talk or she cannot protest. From what we gathered is that NRC had intervened earlier on this case, but when the intervention stopped,
we are barely hearing him. His network is poor. His network. Okay.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate. Please clap for Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. Before we take the last two discussants, and that is Tabitha and Melanie, we would like to pay tribute to this very unique category of participants that have joined us in their capacity as donors and partners. We'll register our appreciation as we pay tribute to all JDPC coordinators and directors, the administrative staff, and other team of JDPCs cutting across the country and outside Nigeria. May we also pay tribute to Caritas Norway, here hooked and represented here by Nina, Caritas Germany, represented by our good friend Lucas, and UNHCR, also represented here by Gabriel Idoko. Caritas Germany is represented by Lucas and Kubert Patrick. We appreciate your solidarity. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate your support. We also like to thank UNICEF representative that is ably here hooked up with us, Amina Atta. We thank you for your continued solidarity, friendship, patronage, love, and support for the work Caritas Nigerian is doing. Thank you very much for being there for us all the time. Tabitha, if your connectivity is improved now, we would like you to take a minute or less and wrap up your presentation, while Melanie of JDPC Maiduguri will conclude the discussion of the panelists. Thank you.
Okay. As mentioned earlier, the impact of COVID-19 on our work here in the Northeast. Also, I wanted to add, it reduces our working hours in the community. For instance, we are to spend like 3 hours in the community. But because
of with any electronic gadget that is on,
which it's not enough for us to carry out our activities that we propose to carry out. Then also, on the issue of security, as I said, it has limited our access to communities that are more vulnerable, that they needed our intervention. Notwithstanding, Caritas are able to mitigate all these issues by creating awareness, increase awareness on the COVID-19, and also they have ensured that the COVID-19 routes have been followed, especially during our activities in the field. Also, Caritas were able to take in field volunteers, which they help us to do most of the activities to reach out to more beneficiaries, even in our absence with the officers. Then also, Caritas have ensured they provided the PPE tools and also the hand washing equipment in most of our centers, especially like the skill acquisition centers. Thank you.
Milani, if you are ready. Milani, if you are ready, you can wrap up this segment of panelist discussion with your presentation. Are you ready? Are you the one sitting close to Samuel? Is she the one? Samuel, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, all.
Thank you. Milani?
My name is Nimrod Melani from JDPC Maiduguri Diocese. The COVID-19 has affected our activities in the case of social distancing. In the case where we have like 3 days for an activity, we end up having weeks because we have to group the beneficiaries and also the safety. In the case of the safety, the beneficiaries, instead of having a normal activity, we end up chipping in COVID-19 activities to enable the safety of the beneficiaries as well as the staff. Thank you.
Melanie, that's a brilliant presentation. I would like to say that all the panelists, would like to thank all the panelists for this brilliant presentation. They were all very active and eloquent in their presentation. We are moving on to the next item. And just before we have this item, which is a question and answer interactive session, I would like to invite Okwamba of the JDPC of Nnewi in Anambra State to present to us a success story of their intervention. Okwamba, if you are ready, we are waiting for you and we expect you to do this presentation in less than 1 minute.
Oh, well, thank you very much. This is Okwamba Primus from JDPC Nnewi. I'm the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer for JDPC Nnewi. I'm standing in for my director, Reverend Father James and more. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. Well, we have been doing this project on citizens' participation, which we call SPAC. The project is geared towards access to safe water and sanitation at the primary health care center. We go to ensure that the primary health care centers have adequate water and sanitation. Now, this project was given birth due to the pandemic because we found out that the local communities do not have safe water, of course, which is what is needed to ensure that COVID-19 is fought. For us to fight COVID-19, there should be water and there should be clean environment. So far, so good. We have sensitized community members. We've there is a serious concern on 3 local governments, of course, which we found out that these local governments are seriously at risk if there is COVID-19 pandemic in those areas. Nearly north and south, then it then means south local governments. So far, there is improvements. When we came in, most of these primary healthcare centers do not have water. But right now, there is both citizen and government participation to ensure that there is water and there is safe. There is water, there is safe water and clean water, and there is a clean environment in this area. So this is a success story I want to share for all of us to know. That JP is in another state.
Thank you very much, Okwamba.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate. Share the story with us. You can forward it to us. We are actually on the question and answer session and an interactive session. We've been wondering, Sylvester, I was wondering if you are participating in another meeting because we see you throwing your hands. So I guess you will, but if you have something to say, you can just in a few seconds. Unmute yourself if you have something to say.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Sylvester.
Thank you. Good morning, the entire team in Abuja. I'm very happy to be part of this discussion. I've actually learned a lot on the intervention that is being done in the Northeast. Largely, Kano, in our own little way of contributing towards humanitarian alleviation during the COVID-19, we are able to distribute 600 bags of rice, 13 cartons of vegetable oil to various communities cut across Kano and Jigawa states. Largely all our parishes in Kano and Jigawa states were part of this particular palliative. And actually, talking about humanitarian crises, possibly there is going to be flood along northern part of Kano, possibly in Bunkuri and Dawa Kintofa, because 3 weeks ago there's a report that flooding took place there, close to 13 million worth of farm product was lost. Talking about intervention also, my Lord Bishop actually supported parishes with foodstuff close to 2 million naira during the pandemic. The Catholic Men Organization also did their own part, where they bought rice worth 1.7 million naira. All this put together was like a way of reducing or pushing the hardship as a result of COVID-19. Thank you.
We can see the connectivity was not too good enough, but I think what Sylvester is saying there to us is that the Catholic Diocese of Kano had made some interventions, and that His Lordship, Right Reverend Dr. John Namazaniring, had supported parishes with foodstuff worth a value of about 2 million naira. They also have made some distributions with support from Irish Aid, and then CRS and Caritas Nigeria. And I guess that's what you are trying to say, Sylvester,
yes,
for the benefit of those who couldn't hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And we appreciate all development actors in the Catholic Diocese of Kano and all other dioceses and all other dioceses in Nigeria. Father who? Okay. Father Wombade. Okay, Father John Peter. IT, we will appreciate if you can have the video as soon as Father finishes discussion. Is that right? Yeah. Thank you. The video of the success story. We are going to have a video of the success story play for a few minutes. We are gradually coming to the end of this program. Is Father ready, please? John Peter.
Yeah, good morning, House.
Yes, Father John Wombadi.
I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, Father.
Yeah, I think in this issue of the humanitarian activities that we are trying to intervene, I think we have, with the global pandemic, especially with this COVID-19, I have made some observations which might be challenging, and is of recent statistics, especially about the fall in the value of Naira, the purchasing power of the Naira, especially to have access to food, especially to the most vulnerable. The economy is very poor, and the Naira value is dwindling, and even access to food is becoming so challenging, especially around our area here in Adama. When we move to communities like Madagali, Michika, and Goza, and those areas, I think what I have seen is that there will be more challenges for us. I think we just have to be more dogged in what we are going to do, because we just have to brace up to the fact that the people are in need. The money has no value, the donors have less to give, and the people are more in need. And I think we are proactive as we are working together, but we have to just to brace up the challenges, especially with the fall, especially most of the global economies are going down, and it is going to tell on our work and the local people we are working with. And I think it is a kudos to all what we have done. And I think if we pray and do more of our best, I think we will get more of all that we are giving in to help these communities. They are really appreciative of what we are doing, but we should be aware that there are more challenges now for the communities where we are going to intervene.
Thank you very much for that. Lucas, thank you for your participation. We can see you want to hook up somewhere else. Thank you for your solidarity. We will now watch and perhaps listen to a video presentation on humanitarian interventions. Okay. Happy viewing.
The World Humanitarian Day is celebrated on the 19th of August every year to celebrate the work and sacrifices of humanitarian workers all over the world. We celebrate both those alive and those who have lost their lives in the cause of helping humanity. Humanitarian crises could arise from natural disasters such as floods, tsunamis, earthquakes. It could arise from wildfires, pandemics that last over a long period of time. Humanitarian crisis leads to lots of protection issues. You have high incidences of rape, of exploitation and abuse of children and women and the elderly, sexual and gender-based violence. It also results in loss of livelihoods, loss of lives, loss of properties. You have lots of people being dislocated as a result of humanitarian crisis. And this now brings humanitarian workers to intervene. In this 2020 World Humanitarian Day, we celebrate the heroes, the humanitarians world over. Not all heroes wear capes like Batman, Superman, Supergirl. Some heroes are ordinary people doing extraordinary things, making sacrifices to restore hope to the downtrodden, to the poorest of the poor. On this 2020 World Humanitarian Day, we celebrate the Caritas Nigeria humanitarians who sacrifice their time, security, family, comfort to reach those suffering from humanitarian crisis in hard-to-reach areas. We will share experiences of those who have benefited from Caritas Nigeria humanitarian intervention. We will also share with the real-life heroes, our humanitarians, Caritas Nigerian humanitarians, sharing their experiences, sharing the challenges they encounter on the field.
We can make the difference.
My name is Kotem Sama Desmond. I am a Cameroonian refugee in Adagom settlement. Before I came to this camp, I was in Cameroon when the war started, and I actually had to lose most of my people before I came to Nigeria. So I came last year to 2019. So when I came, based on the challenges I was facing, since I have nobody in the settlement, Caritas did their best for me, what they know they could do. But if it is their children, what they will do for them. They gave me everything I need, bed, mattress, gas, and everything that a single person will have. So I just want to appreciate Caritas because they did everything that they did as if they were doing it for their own son, even though I ended up misbehaving, but still yet they didn't still give up on me. So I just want to say thank you to Caritas. I just want to thank them, that may the Lord God bless them.
My name is Gloria, speaking Gloria from my mother. I'm a refugee. I was living with somebody, and when I was sick, Caritas took care of me. They paid all my bills, and they took me here, and they gave me shelter. They gave me everything I need, and that's taking care of me. And made me to ready for now. I'm very peaceful. God has done so much for me and my baby. Without them, me and my baby are not going to be happy like this. I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate so much.
We can make the difference.
My name is Chima Zabikwa Enu. I work with Caritas Nigeria as a program manager. I coordinate her protection assistance to Cameroonian refugees in Cross River State response, as well as protection assistance to IDPs in Adamawa and Yobe states, both projects funded by UNHCR. I've been a humanitarian worker for 8 years. I believe that we are all called to be humanitarians at heart. It should be a state of mind, a state of being. However, I'm thankful that I am one of the people who actually gets to do this for a living, who gets to live this day to day, being able to make a change, being able to make the world a better place, one person at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time.
We can make the difference.
My name is Emery Chechi. I'm from Imo State. I live in Imo State. I want to thank Caritas for what they did for me. They have really changed my life. I went through the training and they really impacted me. And I can now sew. I'm not a boss on my own. I can cut perfectly well and I can also sew. I want to thank them for this machine they gave to me and the generator and also for the shop rents they paid for me. I'm very happy. I'm now very busy. In fact, I'm so excited. I'm very, very happy.
My name is Indians Agedo from Benin, Edo State, from Kobawa local government. I've been in Italy, returned 2017. Since I've been around, things were not easy for us, till I met Caritas Nigeria. So they assisted us. We went through some training for animal husbandry, and after that, this is what they did for us to start up. And as you can see, the birds are growing up, So, and after the nurturing and all that, we go for sales, and from there, we can start on day boat to see how the life is going to be. So, thank you very much for assistance. Thank you, Caritas.
We can make the difference.
My name is Emmanuel Nacho. I have worked for Caritas Nigeria in the humanitarian department under the anti-human trafficking and migration unit for a period of 1 year. I have been motivated by the need to put smile on people's faces and to ensure that we provide for the vulnerable in our society, and also to ensure that victims of trafficking and irregular migrants are able to get back on their feet, which is what my team and I have been doing in the past few months under our project.
My name is Oraki Onome. I work with Caritas Nigeria under the Anti-Human Trafficking and Migration Desk domiciled in Benin City, Edo State. I'm the program focal person for two projects under the Anti-Human Trafficking and Migration Unit, the Smart P project funded by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Italy and the STEM project funded by GIZ. Basically, the Smart P project is focused on Conference of Women Religious to accommodate the female returnees in Benin City.
The Berlin Conference in 2017 pledged $2.52 billion US to help fight Boko Haram insurgency in the Lake Chad Basin. Now, this came from a lot of institutional donors such as Germany, the government of Germany, the government of Norway, and others. Now, recall that as of 2017, we had almost 2.1 million persons already displaced due to this insurgency, and then more than 450,000 persons were facing extreme hunger. This meant, or this implied, that in the next 2 to 3 months as of 2017, if there is no food aid, these persons might die out of hunger. In order to respond to this, the German Foreign Ministry, Caritas Germany, and Caritas Nigeria signed a strategic partnership, which is otherwise named Project. So we are meant to move persons from food poor to either borderline or food acceptable, meaning that these persons will be able to eat, to feed very well. Now, as of 2018, that is the first year of the project, the total number of beneficiaries was increased in the scale-up program from 2,050 to 5,450. And as of 2020, the final year for the project, we've been able to meet 5,650 households. And so we can say that the project is going on very well, and we have made a lot of changes, a lot of success stories abound, which we'll be sharing shortly. My name is Michael Bibi, and I am the program manager and the focal person for this project.
My name is Kelu Kadri. I lost my father and no husband. We are displaced persons from Konduga. We have been here for 6 years. You have given me money to support my family. Now me and my children can eat and drink. As you have supported us, may the Almighty God bless you, give you long life and replenish your pockets.
We can make a difference.
My name is Nana from Konduga, residing in Dogonyaro Camp, Maiduguri. I feel so happy for the help that I couldn't sleep. When you don't have and you are helped, it is a thing of joy. I'm so grateful. Sometimes we hardly get anything to eat, so the children go begging before we feed. I'm so happy that I wish to thank Caritas Nigeria in person. I really appreciate because we have bought some foodstuffs.
We can make a difference.
I'm from Konduga. I've been here for 5 years. I came here to receive money from Caritas Nigeria. I will use it to buy foodstuffs for my family. If it remains, I shall use it for another purpose. I really want to appreciate Caritas Nigeria for their support and help.
We can make a difference.
Hi everyone, my name is Thomas Haliru and I work with Caritas Nigeria. I am the focal lead of the UNHCR funded livelihood project in the Northeast. This project is aimed at improving the protection and assistance to persons of concern in Adamawa and Borno through livelihood support. This is a one-year project which have since started in January 2020. Caritas Nigeria has been able to record some achievements amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. So far, we have been able to train and educate farmers on basic concepts of good agricultural practice and livestock management across the 7 local governments. Agricultural inputs and livestock was also distributed to each persons of concerns that were trained. Also, persons of concerns were trained on financial literacy to improve their business concepts, after which a startup grant was given to each persons of concerns to start their own businesses. As it stands, skills acquisition training is ongoing at 4 different locations of Yola, Mubi, Michika, and Goza local governments. Persons of concerns are being trained on tailoring, beads and bags, soap making, shoe making, and carpentry.
We can make a difference.
Kindly observe and see how we work. All thanks to the training you gave us. We no longer need fertilizer from the market. What we learned has granted our wishes. Caritas, thank you very much. May God bless you. We also thank you for training us, for supervising us. We thank you.
My name is Martha John. I was displaced from Madagali to Mubi. I have 6 children. With the help of Caritas, I have started a business of frying beans cake. In a week, I'm able to make 4,000 naira. With this, I'm able to support my husband by paying the children's school fees, feeding, and I try to save 2,000 naira. I really thank Caritas Nigeria for supporting me. I also wish they help more others like me. May God help Caritas.
My name is Hassan Yakubu from Madagali. I'm 40 years old. I have 6 children. I was displaced from Madagali to Mubi, then to Yola. Caritas supported me with a sum of 10,000 naira and I started a business of selling oranges. Back then, I barely get food to eat, but now I can feed my family. I thank Caritas Nigeria.
My name is Hawa Suleiman, a displaced person from Goza. I'm 42 years old with 9 children. We went to Yola, then came back and resided in Mubi. As it is now, Caritas Nigeria has empowered us by teaching us how to make shoes. With my knowledge, I'm able to teach others. We also feed from this business and I try to save at least 1,000 naira a week. We appreciate Caritas Nigeria for their help and support.
Olubumi, I'm the SVB officer in Cross River State now. I'm working on the UNHCR Child Protection Project in Cross River State, providing services for the Cameroon refugees. And I've been an humanitarian worker for 1 year and 6 months now, even though I've had experience of working in development work outside of here. But being a core humanitarian worker, my motivation is to provide durable solutions for survivors of gender-based violence. Because it's very, very peculiar when it comes to the case of emergencies and humanitarian crisis, particularly in case where we have refugees living together in a settlement, and in case where we have a lot of violence.
My name is Apo Michael. I work for Caritas Nigeria on the nutrition of humanitarian in Cross River State. I'm motivated by helping people.
My name is Dominic Damijida Musa. I work with Caritas Nigeria. This is my 2nd year since resuming work. In 2014, October to be precise, my town, Mubi North local government of Adamawa State, was ransacked by Boko Haram, which made my family and I flee to Cameroon. When in Cameroon, we were shown an act of kindness by the local people and the church in particular. This made my desire for the humanitarian work grow exponentially. Caritas Nigeria, through its Emergency and Humanitarian Response Unit, have provided me the avenue to reciprocate this act of love on a wider scale. Thank you, Caritas Nigeria, for giving me such an avenue.
My name is Angala Joseph D. I work with Caritas Nigeria. I worked with Caritas Nigeria for 1.5 years as a humanitarian staff. I have the passion right from the time immemorial to help the needy and the poor. That is why I joined the humanitarian trend with high passion and desire to help those in need by putting smile on their faces through sacrifice in making sure results are met.
My name is Samuel Akoropo. I work for Caritas Nigeria in the humanitarian unit. I am the staff managing the FAO project, which is a service contract. And the project is basically agricultural input distribution to crisis-affected population in the Northeast, especially in Adamawa and Borno State. Given the situation in the Northeast, where a lot of people have been displaced and then source of livelihoods have been destroyed, providing agricultural inputs to these persons whom some are lacking lands, but thanks to the providence of sub-communities where they are hosted, that some lands are being given to them. I think the only thing that could give a sustainable source of feeding is through agriculture, hence the project. And so far for the 2020 rainy season project, we've been able to identify beneficiaries and then we've carried out some input distribution. We're just waiting to complete it with the distribution of the fertilizers that are delayed because of certain logistics challenges.
The passion. I have the passion to help people, the less privileged, especially those suffering. I also love to see that I put smiles on people's faces, more especially the marginalized group, which are women, children, and people living with disabilities.
My name is Adia Michael Wagida. I'm the program manager for the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs funded project with Caritas Nigeria. It is a 4-year strategic partnership with support from Caritas Norway and implemented by Caritas Nigeria. The project location is in the northeastern part of Nigeria, where the humanitarian response is still a major challenge to the country as a whole as a result of the insurgency.
My name is Patrick Thomas. I define myself as a person who is full of energy and always strive to do meaningful things. I grew up in a community where people help each other, and with this upbringing, I am always happy to help people and to share my knowledge with others. When the insurgency started, I was shocked at the way people were being killed, displaced and made homeless. I have been working with Caritas Nigeria and JDPC for about 3 years now. Working with these organizations have given me the opportunity to alleviate or to contribute in alleviating the pain and suffering of people affected by insurgency.
My name is Sandra Kanengzi. I work with Caritas Nigeria, a member of the Caritas Internationalist group. Working with vulnerable children faced with malnutrition in the northeastern parts of Nigeria, precisely southern Borno, have been a very impactful experience for me. Ensuring that sick and malnourished children gain access to clinical and therapeutic care and recovery by my teams have been a great motivation. My passion have driven from the act of putting smiles on people's faces, especially women. I love my career path as a humanitarian. I don't hope to quit now. I don't hope to quit anytime soon.
I am Ayuba Charles, the Livelihood Field Officer, staff of JDPC, Diocese of Maiduguri. What motivated me to work as humanitarian aid worker, especially in this our region, where conflicts and crises have made most people in trauma and hardship of life are: 1, because of the passion I have for my people; 2, the desire to help those in need; 3, to put smile on people's face. I would also like to see a world where people, especially children, girls, boys, women and men, have access to basic facilities such as good health, good education, and also where there is no hunger, war, and indeed where everyone will enjoy fullness of life through livelihood support.
We've had issues where we have communities protecting perpetrators. People commit this violence against women, children, and young girls. We've seen them be protected by communities. We've seen hindrances to access to justice.
Our major challenge is this disbelief by the various communities about the existence of COVID-19 within their area. So it makes it more difficult, even when you try to get to target a smaller group of persons. You discover that more persons come out to witness what is going on at the same time. So that is the major challenge that we have, and so far we've been trying our best to overcome it.
A major challenge has been with the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown associated with it. Majority of those we have given cash transfers have ended up using these monies to improve on themselves, basically feeding themselves and not doing what they actually giving these funds to do. Why for the STEM project, those who were about to start their income generating activity from the skills they were trained on could not really start up because of the lockdown that was associated. However, we have also recorded huge successes based on these interventions in those states and other states of our intervention.
I give much gratitude to God the Almighty to be a part of restoration of human dignity, to playing a part in giving hope to the less privileged.
I would like to see a united and a just world where human beings live as one. I also like to see that the 4 R's are working fully and effectively in the humanitarian intervention, which are reconstruction, reconciliation, rehabilitation, and integration. I also love to see that human beings, every woman, have right to fullness of life.
Now, the core challenges you normally face are because of doing humanitarian work is mostly the resources are not always available to cater for all the places. The schools are far from the settlement, the schools are dilapidated, the population of the refugees are much in schools. There are a lot of challenges.
So we beckon on everyone who is out there and wanting to reach these vulnerable persons and may not have a better channel to reach them, come to Caritas Nigeria. We are a tool that God is using to reach those vulnerable persons. And we join our faith together with the whole world to tell those affected by insurgency not to lose hope, that we love them, the world loves them, and that we'll continue to pray for them. And we also ask God on one day to take away these challenges of banditry and every form of insurgency in Nigeria.
My dream is to see a world that is peaceful, where hunger is reduced, and where humanity prevails.
My greatest challenge as a humanitarian worker has been a challenge that has persisted from day one. And that is the fact that there are things that you can do nothing about. I can't change everything. I don't have answers to every problem. I do not have the solution to every issue. And just knowing that there are things that are beyond your capacity or your capabilities and you can save everyone, it can be a bit saddening sometimes, but we forge ahead, still trying to change the world every day.
It is my dream for our country, Nigeria, to have a society where people live free from fear, free from exploitation, and have fullness of life.
Because I look forward to a world and a near future where all people, children, boys and girls, men and women in conflict, war, hunger and famine zone gain access to basic needs, livelihoods and healthcare. I look forward to a world where vulnerable people in our community enjoy the fullness of life. I would like to thank all donors, funders and governments whom have supported all countries strained by all kinds of disaster. Happy World Humanitarian Day.
One of the good lessons I have learned is not only to help persons of concern, but also to inform them on what's good for sustainable development. Happy World Humanitarian Day to all real-life heroes all over the world.
We can make a difference.
Today, with the Caritas Confederation, our donors, our partners,
my colleagues around the world, Caritas Nigeria real-life heroes are changing the world by their deeds. They are putting smiles on people's faces and ensuring fullness of life for all.
No so long time ago, there was a small town that harvest food where they received a meal. After being sure that people get what they need, they gather happy and joyful and humble in their acts, which is the sign of the presence of our living God. I'm done with this world full of greed and full of lies. We're choosing what is fair and what is not. Depend of a man.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, participants. It's 20 minutes after the hour of noon. We are glad to say that we are gradually wrapping up this webinar. We thank you for your active participation. I hand you over to the Director, Humanitarian Services, for a few words of appreciation and thank you, and then we take the closing prayer.
So we just want to thank everyone for your time, for making it possible for us to hold this webinar. We thank everyone that has joined in, especially our partners, our donor agencies, our field officers who had to join even in remote locations, some of them using their phones, some of them in transit. Thank you so much for being part of our celebration. Thank you so much for encouraging the humanitarians. Thank you very much for being our real-life heroes. God bless us all. Amen.
Again, thank you, participants, for your active participation. Cecilia, would you like to close us with a prayer?
Okay, so very quickly, we just like to thank especially those that have enabled Caritas Nigeria, Caritas Nigeria to intervene in different locations. So we thank. We wish to thank all the donors and our partners who have been part of our humanitarian interventions. The current interventions going on supported by the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs through Caritas Norway. That's the Integrated Emergency and Early Recovery Program for those affected by insurgency in Adamawa and Borno State in Northeast Nigeria. We thank Caritas Germany, whom through funding from German Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we've been able to implement a 3-year program from 2018 to 2020, relief aid to victims of Boko Haram in crisis-affected regions of northern Nigeria. We also wish to thank UNICEF, who has supported us as United Nations Children's Fund, who has supported us in our nutrition programming, where we are managing stabilization centers in 2 local local government areas of Borno State, with the program being scaling up of inpatient service for management of severe acute malnutrition with complications. We also thank FAO, that's the Food and Agricultural Organization, for being our partner through the years in agricultural input distribution to crisis-affected populations in Northeast Nigeria. We thank UNHCR, that's the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, who supported us over the years, I think for the last 3 years, on a protection and assistance to Cameroonian refugees in Cross River State, and for the last 2 years for protection assistance to persons, people of concern through livelihood support in Northeast Nigeria. We also thank GIZ, who supported us in a migration project which we call Stable, Train and Empowered Me, the STEM project. This project is being implemented in Edo State. We thank the Italian Bishops' Conference, who supported us over the years on a 2-year project called SMART-P, Sustainable Measures Against Trafficking in Persons. And this project is being implemented across Edo State, Delta State, Cross River State. Some of our current interventions that have been supported by our sister agencies, especially for the COVID-19 response, include funding from Caritas Germany for COVID-19 response, funding from Caritas Internationalis and the Dicastery for Integral Human Development. We thank the Italian Bishops' Conference through Caritas Italy, who has also supported us across the 9 Catholic provinces in Nigeria in funding, in equipping hospitals, 9 Catholic hospitals in the 9 provinces, as well as sensitization and awareness creation. We thank Catholic Relief Service, who has also supported us with funding across 2 provinces in Nigeria, Abuja province and Calabar province. So thank you very much for all partners and donors who have supported us through the years and currently. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria, for putting this team together, for providing leadership, for providing lead, and for coordination. Thank you, Cecilia, and every other person in the situation room who would like to have the closing prayers now. Father Beconson, are you there? Hello, Father Beconson. Father Beconson, can I see your hand? Yes, we saw you somewhere there. Father Beconson, are you still with us?
If it's not there, Father John Peter can pray for us.
Father John Peter.
And shortly before the closing prayer, we also wish to acknowledge our board members who joined in. Thank you very much.
Any priest in the house, please, could
close
us with the prayer.
I'm here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
Was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
God Almighty, Father, we thank you for the gift of Caritas Nigeria, and we thank you for the gift of the church, all our donors, all our supporters, and all the participants, especially those who have been able to partake in this meeting, all the JDPCs of the various dioceses. We thank you for all people who are out to support humanity. We ask you to continue to grant them strength, grant them love, grant them understanding, and may they be willing to serve humanity now and always. And as we continue to do our work here on earth, may we receive the reward of doing this work for the sake of humanity and, of course, for our well-being. This we ask through Christ our Lord. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
May the Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. So we can clap for all the humanitarians as we go. Thank you. Thank you, Nina.
I have my people, but these are not my people.
Come, all these people that are in the door, Peter, why I'm just seeing you now. They have decided to unmute. All these people should make sure you go because
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you very much, Patrick. We noticed you've been here from the beginning, all the way from Caritas Germany. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you, Nina. You've been here right from the beginning. We appreciate you. And thank you, I think Gabriel Ijoko from UNHCR has been here from the beginning. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Konji, our board member, for being here with us right from the beginning. Thank you all the JDPC coordinators, our implementing partners. Thank you, Nina from Caritas Norway, for being here with us. Thank you very much. Amina was here from UNICEF. Thank you.